So hi everyone, my name is Shantae, aka Shanteezy on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply Shantae. So I am on a different computer today. My computer that I normally use, the charger had bent. So that's one of my reasons that I'm really stressed because I'm supposed to do my project on one of them and I'm waiting for my charger to come in the mail. I ordered it on Amazon. Thank God it was under $15. So hopefully it comes in soon so I can go back to using my regular computer. So there. I have no idea, but at this point in time, I I didn't vote for him. So I voted for Hillary Clinton. Hillary was my senator then. So I'm gonna dig right the hell in to COVID first because I always report on COVID. Oh, I don't know, but I'm gonna get into COVID. So here we are. So on the global stage, as of September 9th, 2020, we are at 27,719. No, excuse me. I botched that number. We had 27,719,952. So again, globally, on 188 countries, including the USA, we had 27,719,952 cases of COVID, with the death toll. The global death toll has reached over 900,000. We are on the trajectory of having 1 million. 901,050, according to the Johns Hopkins website. On the U.S. stage, we are at the U.S. global cases. No, excuse me, the U.S. cases. Oh, God. This is how long I've been investing in my homework. So the U.S. cases is 6,359,313. So on in the U.S., we're damn near at 6.4. We account for a fifth of those cases now. So we had 6,359,313, with the nation's death toll at 190,784. In India now has surpassed Brazil with the amount of cases. 4,370,128. Brazil has 4,162,073. Russia has 1,037. No, 1,037,526. Peru is 696,190. Colombia has 679,513. Mexico has 647,321. South Africa has 642,431. And Spain has 543,379. And some of the Latin countries, you have Dominican Republic is now at 100,937. Panama is on that trajectory of having 100,000 at 99,042. Guatemala is at 79,622. And the African countries, we all know South Africa has the highest numbers on the continent. And now you have Nigeria at 55,632. Guyana, 45,313. And Senegal, 14,102. I shut that off. The West Indies, you have Jamaica at 3,323. Bahamas is at 2,659. Trinidad is at 2,588. Guyana is at 1,703. Barbados is at 180. St. Vincent at 62. St. Lucia moved up one at 27. Grenada is still at 24. Dominica has moved up 2 cases now at 22. And St. Kitts still remains at 17 after all these months. Yeah. According to the New York Times COVID map within the states, you have California still in the 700s, on the trajectory of the 800s. cases, 746,327. Texas has 670,587. Florida has 652,140. New York, which was one of the epicenters, I think, is still remaining at 445,308. I think that number has not changed. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get into Trump's revelation, shocking revelation. Georgia has 268,684. Illinois has 255,304. Arizona has 206,542. New Jersey has 196,450. North Carolina has 179,839. And Tennessee rounds out the top 10 with 163,180. Of course, we have no national plan. We're not surprised about this. I mean, duh. So I have Trump's shocking revelation. I don't have that hashtag, but I had Trump lies as a hashtag. So, but on my piece of paper, because I write an agenda, I have Trump's shocking revelation. So, according to the NBC News report, Trump had a phone call for several months with Bob Woodward. He is the reporter at the Washington Post, who is releasing a book called Rage. I think it's sometime next week. On this phone call that Trump had with him, he said, and I quote, "I wanted to downplay," I'm going to just put my notebook here because I always have a notebook that I write this stuff on. I always wanted to downplay it. I always wanted to play it down. Excuse me. That's his words. I still like playing it down because I don't want to create panic. Hi, Derek. That was his phone call on the 19th with Bob Woodward. And then another quote that now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob, but just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just old people, not just old and older, young people too. Plenty of young people. That was one of them. Then I read another quote. I wrote another quote down. It's just breathe the air. And hey, Jan, breathe the air. And that's how it's passed. ... Because I didn't write it whole down. Because as I was reading the article, I was just like a little flustered. And I'll tell you why. It's also more deadly than ever. Like your string was flu. And this is some deadly stuff. That's what he said on the February call. It was just like things on the call. So, of course, Biden clapped back and said in the article, "This is beyond despicable. It was a life and death betrayal of the American people." Now, keep in mind, the Obama and Biden administration left a playbook, a 69-page playbook to tackle a pandemic. What do you think happened to that? Shelved somewhere. Shelved the CDC report from his own scientists. Shelved was a 17-page report on how to reopen safely. After the role plays that the Obama and Biden administration had with the Trump administration as they were coming in. Yeah. Nada. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. So, are you surprised? No. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that Donald Trump downplayed this virus. I mean, he's a whole entire asshole. He was never for people. I was just on the phone with my mother, and I was telling him, telling her, growing up, Donald Trump was never for people. He was never for black people. He was never for people. I remember going to camp in Harlem. My camp was one of the top camps. It's part of the Children's Aid Society. If you're from New York, you should research what the Children's Aid Society does. It does a lot of things for youth and their families. My center was one of the popular centers in Harlem. And by the way, my house, which was on 5th Avenue, which was on 116th Street in Harlem, was down the avenue, down. It was like 20, 30 minutes on the bus. if you take a certain bus, which is called the Manhattan 1, which is abbreviated as the M1, you could take that straight down to his to Trump Towers, and you were right there. If you ever visit New York, you see his office is on Fifth Avenue. And now I reside down the block from his office on the other side. I'm on the West End side. So, yeah. And yeah, Jen, he definitely down. He was jealous, all the way jealous, all the way jealous. So, I'm not surprised that Trump was always a person that cared about himself. That's the point that I was making. Because like I said, I grew up in the city. I grew up in New York. I still live here. What I'm pissed at is Bob Woodward. Because I felt like you sat on this fucking information for like God knows how long. God knows how long. Thank you. Helps you to explain you are so woke. I'm like, okay, thanks, Paul. But what makes, like I said, what makes me mad is just the simple fact is that you knew about this. Like, you all reported at the Washington Post, one of the most competent papers in the business. And you didn't sound the alarm to your colleagues at the Washington Post. It was months. Like, Derek, right, months. Like, how many months? Like, it was like 7-8 months. Like, you was dead to 3, but it was months because he had conversations with him from December all the fucking way to July. All the way. And this virus was a threat back in November. Other countries around the world already had this virus. Europe had this virus. And they slightly didn't know because some of them were here in New York visiting during the holiday season. Because New York is a very busy season, especially very, very busy city, especially during the holidays and even right now in the summertime. Like, our city is in a hole. So when my city does bad, the whole country does bad. Because we are the top number 1 economy in the country. So as I'm saying this, Bob knew. Bob could have been like, yo, Phil, whatever. And one of his colleagues, Philip Rucker, he's a respected journalist, a Nobel Pulitzer Prize journalist, but he didn't want to speak about his colleagues, and I understand that. And there are tapes to prove and that raised the alarm at the time, and still, he sat on that fucking shit. And now you want to release a motherfucking book talking about rage? That's the same guy in Atlantic, and even though, like, there's no shade, you saying now that he hates the military, which we all knew? Like, all these people that are trying to get fame and glory of writing books on Donald Trump and get into the mind of Donald Trump, you don't tell people that was raised in New York City or that lived in Northern Jersey, or raised in Northern Jersey to tell this shit to us. Shit that we already knew. Like, I don't understand. And I'm not buying his fucking book. And I didn't finish reading Fire and Fury, and I have no plans not to. I have no plans not to because I don't give a fuck. Because it's shit that we all knew already. Like Joy said today, why the fuck Bob did not write an article about this? Now all of a sudden you want to come out with a fucking book. Because sure enough said that shit. And I'm really sure she's not the only one. She speaks for all of us right now. Like, dead ass. I have people on my timeline like, fuck Bob. I said the same thing. Fuck Bob. Fuck him. And fuck everyone that's trying to write books about Donald Trump, get into his mind, his family, and all this and all that. Y'all work for these motherfuckers, and no shade to Stephanie. And I understand she worked for the First Lady, but you knew what kind of woman she was too, Steph. Come on. She was a whole ass Bertha. Listen, you can have that book for free. I don't even want the fucking book for free. Fuck them. Okay? Fuck them. Because I knew 3 people that died from this virus. I knew a couple people that is sick from this virus. Because of this virus, I'm trying to practice social distancing on staying away from my family. I could take the train to go up and see them if I want to, but I am trying to stay away. Unfortunately, this trash does sales. It does. And I have no beef, like I said, with Stephanie this morning because I saw The View, but I just feel like, girl, even though you was getting investigated, I understand you was mad. Because I don't blame her. I mean, she was investigated. But you did take a chance and you worked for this administration. And I know you was trying to be a friend, but girl, I slightly feel bad for her, but then I slightly don't because you had a good career. And I'm pretty sure since working with them, you probably wasn't able to find shit. Because you got the Trump administration attached to your ass. So now you gotta write a fucking book. Working for this administration will taint your reputation. Quote unquote honorable Republicans, they feeling it. I don't blame them. I don't blame people not wanting to hire them. It's so sad because I don't, have a job right now. This is slightly my job, but it's like my free job that I don't get paid for. But I am going to school to finish up my master's degree in business. I readmit it, but I'm not wishing no harm on nobody, but this administration will taint your reputation. Unfortunately, there's more profit of selling garbage. Yeah, the good GOPers. To me, ain't really none of them is good. I still keep my eye open. Keep my eye open on them. But yeah, but fuck Bob. Fuck him. Next, I want to get into Mr. Proud Socialist, aka what's his face? Ryan Knight. Yeah, so let's get into this man. So Ryan Knight, basically has his podcast. He got a good following base, but he has this podcast, and pretty much, I just felt like he shouldn't, in my opinion. I just felt like this was bullshit. So let me just pull it up on my page real quick. It's faster if I go on my page. There you go. I'm going to play it. It's an audio sound. It's pretty much saying, his thing is, he was discussing black women are the backbone of the Democrat Party until they start demanding real justice and the most bold policies, and then receive pretty much nonstop resistance from neoliberals. So basically, I'm the neoliberal. I guess I'm a neoliberal. Don't even know what the fuck that shit means, but here we go.
Our party has to be better. Neoliberals will say that black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden, when a black woman who's fighting for justice and demanding actual policies to deliver that justice, then all of a sudden, it's like, you're not the backbone of the party. You're enemy number one, and they're calling you the most heinous things when you're the one who's actually fighting to raise the level of consciousness to say, look, our party has to be better than this. Not being Donald Trump is the lowest bar in political history. Don't tell me what you're fighting against. Tell me what you're fighting for. What policies are you fighting for that will move this nation forward so we don't have another neo-fascist rise in 2024 or 2028? Because what we're seeing is this passive milquetoast politics from Democrats opens up the space for fascism to thrive and enables this fascism. It does, and it's yeah, they do. You summed it up. I mean, Bree Joy and myself, and I think leftist black women in general. When you have women like myself and Bree Joy, because we have such a national profile, we're big targets. But I have been in spaces with leftist black women who feel the same way, Ryan, that Bree Joy and I feel, that there's really no space and no place for them. That the Democratic Party, they only want black women and black people, for that matter, throw black men in there, that obey, that bend to their will, that rattle off their talking points. And the minute we get a thought on our own, the minute we critique, the minute we rise up, the minute we reveal, then we become enemy number one. So I feel like, when Senator Sanders embraced, when we were running, what FDR said when he was fighting against the neoliberals of his day, I feel the same way as FDR did, President FDR. I welcome their hatred. I really do, because I am fighting for what is just and right, what is right and what is good. And if my shouting from the rooftop, for example, of the many issues progressives are standing up for, but Medicare for all is somehow hurting your candidate's candidacy, then you know what? You got a bigger problem.
Okay. So, y'all know I'm about to tear into that ass. First of all, you, Nina, and Bree Joy are not the only black leftists out there. There's a couple of you guys. There's Alicia Garza. There's Brittany Pack Kennahan. I don't know if she considers herself as a leftist because she never described what party she's part of. Who else is pretty much leftist? There's Ayanna Presley. It's a lot of them out there. Can't name them off the top of my head. There's Amanda Seals, pretty much. There's Angela Rye. They're pretty progressive. So all this from my Medicare for all. See, these progressives, their issues they're not really speaking about concrete issues. Some of these progressives, these so-called progressives, because they're not real. Because progressivism is basically promoting social change, right? Medicare for all and Green New Deal is not about social change. There's more to it. Black people want, of course, we want better economic policies, but we also want great housing. We want access to home ownership. We want access to education, better education reform, including ways that we can compete with our competitors in terms of education, and just basically more technology-driven education, STEM research and STEM education, math and science. That's progressive. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can slide in the comments. What else is extremely progressive? Infrastructure. The roads are fucked up around the world. That's something that Yvette Nicole Brown was talking about in terms of the roads being the roads are bad and it needs to be fixed. She had a documentary on it. I'm trying to find it so I can watch it. Let's see what else. What is it? Unifibroids. If I'm correct, if I'm saying that right, I saw the commercial in the city. That's one of them. Yeah, he's a fake ass progressive. Team for Joma. He's a complete fake. And right, Elizabeth, just a whole bunch of white people. Personally, it's okay with the Green New Deal as per Biden. The kids are supporting it. Of course. I mean, I like the Green New Deal. I think it's good, but we need to get back to the Paris Climate Accord first before we get to some damn Green New Deal. And Kamala's for the Green New Deal and for Medicare for all. Just letting stuff out now. Also, after school expansion, that's part of education reform too. That's progressive. Also, tackling racial injustice, not just the criminal justice system, but the job system as well, because Black women are paid under 81 cents of the dollar. That's, even though that's equal pay, but that's also in terms of career. Because we're executives, but we don't get the executive pay. And sometimes we're not even executives. We don't even sit on boards half of the time. That's progressive, and we rally behind that. I mean, what the fuck is Nina talking about? Bitch, you're not the only black leftist with a national profile. You should read Black to the Future's policy, maybe, because that would make you look stupid. Just saying. And sometimes Alicia Garza, sometimes I don't agree with her, but she sounds more articulate than Nina Turner at this point. And as for Ryan, I'm just going to, I have a screenshot of what he tweeted out a couple of days ago. I had to save it because it was just beyond me. So he said, I voted for John Kerry in 2004. I voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. I am not voting for Joe Biden in 2020. For my entire life, I watched Democrats calculate to Republicans and resist bold progress. I refuse to enable it all. Okay. How Democrats are like Republicans. How did it turn into Republicans? Susan Sarandon, I'm about to tear in her ass too. How? The last time I checked, who has been helping the middle class is the Democratic Party for the last, 30-something years? My parents actually thrive when it's Democrat leadership because my mom made a middle income. My dad had like 2 or 3 jobs. Some of it is by choice why he had the extra jobs. He wanted to. My father made more money off the books than on the books. Versus my mom who still has a payroll auditing job. But Twitter was dragging the shit out of him, and I'm gonna have to drop a video that's gonna drag his ass too. Because he's not our fucking ally. And then I'm gonna read another tweet that he said to Susan Sarandon, because I just feel like they're just whole ass grifters, and I'm just really sick of them entirely. I'm just sick of his shit. I'm fucking tired of him, honestly, to tell you the truth. Yeah, they are the same. You're absolutely right, Elizabeth. Okay. So where's that shit? Because he got all this smoke for Democrats, but not for Republicans. He said this neoliberalism dresses up predatory capitalism, endless wars, and racial injustice with flowery platitudes that makes the rich feel better than the pain they inflict on our society. What the fuck? If it's often called the lesser of 2 evils, but it is just as bad because it enables the greater evil. I mean, he's doing all this for attention. I guess he's doing all of this to get more followers. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, he's full of shit. He's full of shit. He's nothing but a little bitch-ass motherfucker who pretty much needs clout. I heard he used to work for Petco. Because one of the guys that follow me said he worked for Petco. I don't know if he works there now, but he's full of shit. And he has 366.4 followers. Okay, you have way more followers than I do. I ain't gonna lie. Because I actually had a regular daily job. Because before I started getting on Twitter more, I used to be on it. And then I started getting out because people were attacking me. And then I'm always on my Instagram. I don't have a large following base. I get it. Because I actually have a regular job that actually paid me a decent fucking salary. So that's one. And actually have a life. So I don't have all these followers. It's great that I'll gain more followers, which I have gained followers. I have gained about 2,000 followers, which is not bad. It's coming back to Twitter again as of last year. But because I just need to be me. Typical little girl from Harlem. But you're doing this for why? You are an attention seeking ass motherfucker. Everyone exposes lavish lifestyle in LA. Yeah, I mean, if you're living in LA, first of all, you make more money in LA than New York. LA's more money out there, but their economy is not as high as New York. LA is expensive. Just as expensive than New York. New York, there's affordable housing programs that will help people to pay their rent, right? I'm just saying. But he's a grifting ass motherfucker. He looked like a grifter. He's a punk ass bitch. He sounded like a little bitch. If you actually sound more bitchier than I am. And it's no shade. You know, I don't get on anybody, whatever, if they have the voice of the sound of their voice, but he sounds like a pussy. Like, straight up. He says nothing substantive that is progressive change and that will invite people into their quote-unquote movement. I'm sorry I'm talking into circles, but I don't like this motherfucker. I don't like him. I didn't even like him when he supported Elizabeth Warren. And the fact that he's so toxic and talking about neoliberals, I hate that term. I hate it. I feel like it's derogatory, and I don't like using it. For them, I describe them as, I quote the progressives because they're not real progressives, because real progressives don't shun people out of their movement. He's down with not just Nina and not just Reed, which I'm about to get into Nina in a minute. He's down with toxic ass Jake. And we all know Jake is a toxic, slimy, fat, disgusting, booger, pus bump looking ass motherfucker. Okay? So, yeah, Ryan, you saying that you are for black women in your little podcast and talking to Nina, make you feel like you're invited to the cookout. You're not invited. Excuse me. You're not invited to the cookout. We don't want you there. We don't want your potato salad with raisins in it. So, keep your motherfucking ass there. And saying that we don't want systemic change when the neoliberals you're talking about is black people. But that's what he's really talking about. There's not too many white people that are politicians that are Democrats anymore. So you're talking about black people. And some Hispanics that are in the Democratic Party. That are elected officials. But as I said, you're not invited to the cookout with your potato salad with raisins in it. So keep that sour shit at home with your Petco basement there. But Nina, on the other hand, oh Nina, Miss Turner. Talking about that she probably will be running in 2024. I have the clip. You know I got to come with the clip because I don't want the words of mouth coming out of my mouth. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. Said this.
Always something that is, are you thinking about 2024? I am. I mean, there are lots of people that I hear from all the time, from all over this country, who want me to consider running again. It's always something that is on my list. But for this moment, I'm going to continue to help progressive candidates, progressive causes. I'm also going to continue to navigate the racial justice space to do those things. So we need corporations to come on through. Now, they come through for themselves and the tax breaks and how they lobby Congress. We need them to come on through for the talent on that side. But absolutely strong consideration.
Did y'all just hear that? Can I run that back one more time? Run it. Don't cut me off.
Are you thinking about 2024? I am. I mean, there are lots of people that I hear from all the time, from all over this country, who want me to consider running again. It's always something that is on my list. But for this moment, I want to continue to help progressive candidates, progressive causes. I'm also going to continue to navigate the racial justice space to do those things. So we need corporations to come on through. Now, they come through for themselves and the tax breaks and how they lobby Congress. We need them to come on through for the people. And there is a way to get some of those corporations to do that, especially on the justice side. Since the killing of George Floyd, we know that a number of corporations have pledged a whole lot of money for racial justice. Let's see if they can do that. So I'm also going to put some of my talent on that side. But absolutely strong consideration for.
So she's considering to run for, I guess, president in 2024. Like, people were really going to take you seriously. He was like a whole ass just state senator. You didn't even reach that level of state senator in Ohio. This one. Second, running in 2024 against the most powerful ticket. Say if Biden was to hypothetically run again with Kamala Harris, how do you think you're going to run against that? If they're promoting that progressive change that you quote unquote advocate for, which we have not seen no receipts of that from what the last 4 years, I just want to understand how you're going to beat the most competent ticket if they're promoting progressive changes already. And if they got your guy in their cabinet, how's that working? If Nina wants to run for something, there's Congress. That's a start. Senate, yeah. Congress, it's a start. You can do that. And Jen, I was like, and then she wants to need corporations' money. She wants to put the corporate, like, but you calling the actual Democrat elected officials, the corporate Democrat establishment, because they receive corporate funding for their campaigns or for just for funding to elect other officials, quote unquote potential elected officials or candidates. As I say, I was looking for that mumbo jumbo. This is what I'm saying. These progressives are not progressive. Trump is a whole asshole. I already ripped his whole entire anus, and I'm pretty sure it's bleeding right now. Bob the cat. But, yeah. But anyway, this is what I'm talking about with these motherfuckers. They have this, and this was supposed to be Bernie's birthday celebration, and you asking her about her potential run for 2024, but you know we gotta elect the Biden and Harris ticket, like the star-studded, most competent ticket that's going to kick Trump and Pence's ass. After what we learned, quote unquote, we already knew, and still, like, you want these motherfuckers? You still trying to, you know, slither your fucking way and to try to primary people? I tell you, y'all progressive, y'all need to call yourself regressives or just the cult, the left cult. That should be y'all new party. Progressives, no. Y'all don't promote social reforms. Y'all don't have no receipts and no documentation and no proof and no legislation that you partner with actual elected officials on a federal level and on state level to combat the systemic issues that are going on in our country. Y'all full of shit out here in these streets. That's what I'm saying. And then Susan Sarandon. Yeah, I can't leave her out of this argument either because she's full of shit too. Susan Sarandon. Good God. She says some bullshit, so I'm about to pull it up. Or is it on my page? Yeah, it's easier to find shit on my page. Let's just find it. Oh, gee. It's Louise. So she says this. I'm standing by Proud Socialist, that's Ryan Knight, and respect his courage in sharing his journey over the past few years. We need more Ryan Knights to stand up and speak truth to power every single day. So I tweeted today, because I quoted her retweet. What journey? Ryan Knight is a huge grifter, and I put that in caps. He has not stand up for nobody. As I said, where is the proof that these motherfuckers did stuff for black and brown people and for the everyday working, struggling, or middle class Americans? Where is the legislation? Where is the incentives? Where is the actual advocacy group that actually promoted these social reforms? Where is this work? Where is these organizations that's helping people? Where? Does anybody know? Anybody? Yeah, Elizabeth, it's very true. These people are full of shit. They want your money. So, like, for these people to keep supporting these people, I mean, you guys are being really fucking conned out this fucking world. It's just insane. And Susan Sarandon ain't shit neither. She ain't getting no roles. I haven't seen her on the silver screen, and I don't want to see her raggedy ass. But Room Raider had time to drag her ass today, and I appreciate that. I do. I really do. But these degenerates, they're not shit. And they will never be shit. And that's just all I'm saying about these fucking people. But until then, thank you for tuning in. If you want more content, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or like this video and retweet it, whatever you want to do. But until then, I've been on here for a while. I'm tired because I was doing homework and I got more homework to do tomorrow. But you guys have a good night, and I'll see you a little bit tomorrow, okay? Take care of yourselves.